Hey guys, Trucker Chris. So this video is going to be a different video. It's going to be talking about Chris and what I go through on the road and some of the depression and the loneliness that I feel out on the road. So stick around. Hope you enjoy it. Alright guys, so as you heard in the intro, today's going to be a difficult talk for me. It's something I don't like talking about, but it's something that needs to be said because I know I'm not the only one out here that faces it. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people go through it, man. The depression, the loneliness, the anxiety, all that. I mean, we all go through it. I've always considered at least depression and anxiety to be a mental illness. And I'm not saying a mental illness in the way of a mental defunct or anything like that. I'm saying it more of it's a clinical illness, and it's a clinical mental illness. That's what it comes down to. Depression can play hell on you. It really, really can. And it's something that I have had issues with a lot. My depression does get the best of me sometimes. And there's times where I just can't upload videos because I can't power myself to do it. I can't get up and say, hey, let's make a video today, man. And then there's other days where I'm just perfectly fine, ready to kick ass and really take the whole day. But when it comes down to it, I'm not medicated for my depression. And the biggest reason why is I have a very addictive personality. And I kicked a drug addiction years ago. It was one of the hardest things that I had to kick, and it was one of the hardest things that I went through. And I was specifically addicted to prescription drugs. And so for me, it's that little voice in the back of my head that screams, if I start taking something, it's going to come back. And I really don't want to fight those demons again. That was one of the hardest fights I've had in my life. And here I am, 11 years sober, proud to be here. It's for me, it's a big thing of accomplishment, but it also sucks at the same time, because just like alcohol, I used to be a very heavy alcoholic, but now I know how to moderate my alcohol, and I hardly ever drink. And for me, I have that, why can't I do that with medication? And I think for the fear with me is doing it with medication. It's so easy to get addicted back onto it, especially with how easy it is to get the medication, considering the fact that I can get a 90-day supply just by claiming a chronic injury, anything like that, you know. And that's what sucks about today's society, really, is I can go get antibiotics and spend $50 on the antibiotics that I need for a 14-day supply, but I could turn around and go get Tramadol, Vicodin, anything like that, and spend $5 for a 90-day supply, which I think is ridiculous. But that's part of the reason that we're facing the opioid epidemic that we are, and that's part that really sucks. And when it comes down to it, usually December is the hardest time for me. That's when my depression really gets a hold of me. And the biggest reason why is because that's actually, I lost my dad December 17th of 2012. He passed away from liver cancer, and he had a plethora of other issues at the time as well. I mean, he'd had 2 major heart attacks. He had type 1 diabetes that he did not take care of at all, and really just kind of lived life on the edge. And honestly, I'm surprised he made it as long as he did. But I lost him when he was 57, and kind of hit pretty hard for me because, you know, my dad was my best friend. And so when that happened, I faced a lot going on in my life at that point. I had pretty much kicked my prescription habit, but then picked up alcohol is what I went to next. And I became a very, very, very heavy alcoholic. It wasn't abnormal for me to drink in excess a bottle of vodka a night easily. I'd regularly show up to work drunk. The positive behind it was my boss was extremely understanding, and so that was really helpful. And I I had drank a lot before my dad had passed away. I I think I got really heavy into it as soon as I found out like how bad my dad's diagnosis was, and I pretty much just backed out of the world and went into my own little dark hole, because I mean, you find out you're losing your best friend, your parent, and me and my dad, we were like that. I mean, we were the best of friends, and so, sorry. For me, it makes it a little bit easier knowing that he's gone, for the fact that he's not in pain anymore. He's able to live a life, if there is a heaven. I don't know if there is. I personally don't believe, but for people that do, more power to them. I will never dog somebody who believes in a religion. But for me, at least, I know he's not in pain anymore, and that's the biggest thing for me. But unfortunately, my depression doesn't feel the same way. And every year I get to a point in my life where I block everything out. And I'm lucky to have a girlfriend that completely understands what I go through. Not that she's lost anybody, but she has lost people that she's close to, and that has affected her. And she's had she's had things happen in her life that would almost be equatable to losing a loved one. And so it's really helpful having her around, especially during December, because I don't think anybody else would be able to just deal with Chris when he's like that. I tend to just shut out the whole world at that point. If I'm in a truck, people won't hear from me for a couple weeks, maybe a month. And for my girlfriend, that's normal. She knows Chris is having a hard time. Let him be. I'll check on him at least once a day, text him, hey, good morning, I love you, hope you're doing okay. And I normally respond back, good morning, love you too. That's it. When it comes to my friends, though, I pretty much shut them out, and it does scare them, because they're afraid that I have went and done the ultimatum, gone and did the ultimate thing, a short-term solution for a long-term solution for a short-term problem, as my friend would say. And I have in the past had issues with that. Not really easy for me to talk about, but when life gets you down and you feel you have nowhere to turn, you go to the easiest possible solution. It's no different than hitting a brick wall. Sometimes it's easier to walk around the brick wall than it is to tear it down. But sometimes you need to tear that wall down to get through, to realize your potential. And I feel I've done that for a lot of things in my life. But when it comes down to losing my dad, it's kind of hard. It really is. And so in 2012, I lost him December 17th, 2012, 3 a.m. That my whole world fell apart. It really did. I felt I had nowhere to turn at that point. I had still have some of the closest friends when it comes to it. They let me fall, but they always pick me back up, and they let me fall graciously, if you know what I mean. They never let me sit on that floor too long. They'd always pick me up and help me up. But I'm so thankful that I had them with me, and I still do. I mean, they're like brothers to me. I don't consider them friends at this point. They're brothers. The only thing that separates us is not having the same blood. And so when my girlfriend came into my life, she was really able to understand, because we met in April of 2017, and I'd explained to her kind of why I was off the road at the time, because I was working at a nursing home. I was a bus driver there. And so when we met, I was an ugly POS looking guy, dude. I mean, disheveled, my hair looked like crap, my beard was up, just looked like hell. It really did. I used to just wear those cheap Hanes pocket t-shirts and a pair of blue jeans that looked like I had to dump them in every time, just because of how low they hung. And so really meeting her helped me a lot because I felt I had somebody to impress. You know, not that I couldn't impress my friends, but, you know, my friends are the same way. You know, we dress how the hell we want to dress, and that's it, you know. And for me, it was one of those, I'm going to be myself. That's all I need to be, is just be myself. Who cares about anything else? But when I met her, my spirit went through the roof. It really did. She is one of the most beautiful women that I know. She's got a smile that lights up the room, and she's just got beautiful, beautiful hair, and I just love her to death. And she has helped me become the man that I am today, become the person that I am today, that can stand up proudly and have my own voice, grow a backbone, be my own man. That's something that I had difficulties with as well, was becoming my own self. And for me, she really helped me grow into the Chris that I am, the Chris that you see now. And I'm so thankful to her for that. She is amazing and one of a kind. And the fact that she could deal with somebody who is a truck driver, who's gone 2 to 3 weeks at a time, who really stays out here as long as he can to make money, but also suffers with depressive episodes of just leave me the F alone, don't talk to me, I can't do this right now, and yet still stands by my side. Because when my depression hits, I could become a mean person really quickly, and it's nothing that I mean to do. And some people think depression is turn that frown upside down, it'll get better, my friend. You're just upset, quit being so sad. No, it's not what it is at all. Depression is a chemical imbalance in your brain, and it is a big issue. It can be a huge issue. It can lead to serious consequences. It could lead to unaliving yourself. Can't say the word because YouTube, for some reason, doesn't like people talking about it. It could lead to becoming a permanent recluse. You know, and as you see in most of my videos, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, and most of the time I am. I don't normally show this side of myself because I don't want y'all to have to see it, but real talk has to be real talk. If I'm going to be the happy-go-lucky Chris, I also got to show the Chris that goes through what he goes through sometimes. And yeah, figure I got to be honest with you guys. You know, I'm thankful that I have this outlet as well, because it really does help me too, because being able to talk to you guys, and whether y'all actually watch the video and listen and actually enjoy it, and if you don't, you don't. Either way, I know somebody's watching it, and it does mean a lot to me. And so for me, it's got to be what it is. You know, I've got to be honest with not only you but myself. And so when it comes down to it, I know I'm not the only person on the road that faces depression. I know that for a fact. I know there's plenty of other people that go through it, but it's not something that's talked about. It really isn't. Truck drivers are pictured as these tough men who work at the last cowboy job. You know, we're the last living cowboys. That's what we are. That's what everybody pictures us as. Well, even cowboys have their days too, right? Sometimes they have bad days, sometimes they have good days. And for it not to be talked about isn't all that good. It really does need to be talked about, because more light needs to be brought to it. That way people can actually start seeking help and know that they're not alone in the fight. You hear about younger guys who pass away in their trucks, you know, 40s, 50s years old. That's really young, especially nowadays with the average life expectancy being in the 80s, which, you know, it's sad, but unfortunately it's because of some of the illnesses we face out here. Just one of the comments I was reading in my last video, one of the commenters said that his dad had passed away from non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is usually caused by bad diet, drinking lots of sodas, stuff like that. What could also attribute eating and drinking like that too is, once again, depression, because you don't feel like doing anything. I've always had a social anxiety. of eating by myself in a restaurant. I still have a hard time doing it to this day. I don't like eating by myself. For me, I always feel like people are watching me. Hey, look, fat kid over there, he's eating the food. That's something that I've dealt with for years. And when I'm not bad like this, I'm okay. I could do it. I could sit down at that truck stop and eat food all day, whatever, but when I get like this, I really don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to sit in my truck, I want to watch YouTube videos, want to vape my vape all day long. That's all I want to do. And I have my days where as soon as I park up, I close my curtains here, and that's all I do. I've done that on 34-hour resets where I literally close my curtains, message my dispatcher doing a 34-hour reset. I'll be fine, whatever, that way I don't get that message that we haven't heard from you, because I just won't answer it. I'll just sit right here the whole time. I'll get up one time to go take a shower before I leave, and then that's it. And I know I'm not the only person that does that. I've seen plenty of drivers do that. And what it comes down to is you just don't feel like doing anything at that point. You don't feel like doing anything to help yourself. You don't feel like doing anything to better your life at that point, because you feel like nothing's going to better your life. Sorry. Usually I'm good. Usually I'm okay. Usually I'm happy Chris. I'm able to kick ass, take names, go throughout the day. Happy Chris is usually the one that runs a lot of miles. I could usually run like crazy, but when I get like this, sometimes I don't want to interact with anybody, so I'll take my time doing my loads and not have to interact with customers as much. And realistically, all I'm doing is hurting myself in that situation. But for me, it's just the side effects for an antidepressant medication outweighs the benefits for me, and the fear of becoming addicted to prescription opioids again is another fear that I have. And once again, I can't take myself to do it, so therefore I usually just deal with it. But the difference is I know that I have depression. I've been diagnosed with it. Some people don't know that they have it. They don't know why they feel like life sucks, this is what's going on, why is this going on? And really, some people don't even know how to go about dealing with it. And it really is as easy as going to talk to your doctor. And a doctor can really spot, like my doctor's amazing. He can spot between he's shopping for pills or he really needs help. And so thankfully, my doctor has offered, instead of doing prescription, on looking into doing more homeopathic side, taking supplements, stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not an Herbalife guy. I'm not a essential oil themed life, because I don't believe in that crap. But I do believe that supplements in certain cases can help out. For example, I take 4 different supplements a day. Take a beetroot, cinnamon tab, fish oil, and a vitamin C. The beetroot helps with the nitrates, bring your blood pressure levels down. Cinnamon over a long term helps bring and keep your blood sugars down, keeps your A1C at a normal level. Fish oil helps with your heart and brain. Vitamin C stops you from getting sick. It's supposed to, at least. On top of the one prescription that I take, which is a amlodipine, which is a blood pressure medication. Non-addictive, non-habit forming, perfectly fine taking that. I don't have a problem with it. But when it comes, I don't. It, as you can tell, it's a hard conversation for me to have. So, I guess the moral to all of it is if you're depressed, if you're having thoughts of unaliving yourself, if you're facing just being upset in general on a daily basis and you don't know why, go to your doctor. Go get checked out. Really. It will do you a lot of good, and it will help the people around you as well. Because the better that you feel, the more those people are going to want to bring you around. And I'm not saying that your friends don't want you around, but when you're when you're always upset all the time, they tend to, if you got happy friends, they don't want to be around that. It's kind of like listening to a Stain song on repeat, you know. You can only listen to it so much before you start feeling depressed yourself, you know. Loneliness is a huge deal for me out here. As y'all know, I used to stay out 3 to 4 months at a time before I met my girlfriend. Came off the road for about a year after I met her. And then I went to doing a lot of local jobs. And then I eventually came to doing this where, you know, we both felt that we were good, and we're both holding the fort down all right. You know, we're doing okay. But as she knows, as December comes closer, the worse it's going to get. But loneliness for me is a huge deal out here because I am a homebody. I love being home with my family. It does mean the world to me to be able to spend time with them as much as I can. But unfortunately, bills don't pay themselves. I'm the only person that works in the house because she is disabled. And so when it comes down to it, yeah, I need to do this to make ends meet as much as I can. But it does get lonely out here sometimes. It really does, especially when you're by yourself. And that's where phone calls, text messages, video calls, anything like that really helps out a lot. It really, really, really does. I talk to a lot of my friends. Like, I've got one of my brothers, as I call him, that I talk to pretty much all day long. And we'll be on the phone for 5 or 6 hours, no problem. And we're just BSing about stuff all day long. He's at work, I'm at work, we're just BSing with each other. Things like that do help. But when it comes down to it, after you've been out so long, you just want human interaction. You want human touch from somebody that you know, somebody that you have love for, you know. Human interaction at a truck stop can be okay, but a lot of the times you could just tell that when they're depressed, and you feed off it when you're already depressed, when you're already lonely, you know. Listen to the radio sometimes, you know. I'll sit there and talk to the driver on the radio, and you hear him, you know, just, oh, I'm heading home, I gotta go see my girls, or I gotta go see my kids, my wife, whatever, because they've been out 2-3 months at a time, and it's rough, you know. Some people are built for this, and some people aren't. You know, last year, one of my biggest fears happened, and that was my girlfriend went to the hospital while I was in Missouri, and that scared the hell out of me, and I made a lot of rash decisions in that moment. I spur of the moment quit my job. I got home, which of course Crete got me home, no questions asked, and then I spur of the moment quit my job, basically because I felt that I needed to take care of her, which it was probably the dumbest thing I could have done at that point. Because there really was nothing I could have done at that point. But irrationally, you make decisions when you're in fear, when you're scared, when you don't know what's going on. And so that's what happened to me, is I freaked out. I didn't know what the hell was happening, so I just got home, and I stayed there for a week. And as y'all remember, when I talked about my Crete review, I said I needed at least 2 weeks. And then that switched to, internally, I got to take care of my girl. I need to quit. Which I didn't need to quit. I was just terrified and didn't know what to do. And so, realistically, I could have stayed on with him. I could have gone to local. I could have done something different. I could have had a vacation by now. But, you know, I'm not always all that smart, am I? But it is what it is. We all make mistakes in life. Life goes on. And that's something y'all should always live by. If shit happens, get over it. You only got one life to live, so don't dwell on the crap in the past. But yeah. That was something I really did want to talk about, though, was depression and loneliness out here on the road. Specifically mine. So just know that if you don't see videos getting uploaded, there are times where it's hard for me to make a video. I'll sit here and I'll repeat over and over and over. I'll sit here and just look in the video and not know what to say, or I just know that I'm monotone and y'all can tell that I'm upset, you know. And yeah, I want to make sure that what I'm putting out here is the best Chris at all times. But I also want to be 100% honest with you guys too. That's my other big thing. There will be more videos coming. I will get to some of the viewer suggestions, and I'm sorry it's taking a minute. Like I said, it's what it is. You know, I'm just in a funk right now. You know, it's just trying to cram work and home life stuff and YouTube, just everything all into one day is hard. It really is. Because, like, for example, yesterday I got up at 4:30 in the morning, started driving at 5:15, and I did not shut down till almost 8 o'clock. And when I got to my spot to park, I had to make my own spot, turned around, went to bed, got up at 5 o'clock, and 6 a.m. started rolling. And I got down to about 2 hours left on my 70 and was able to come over here to Omaha and shut down over here at the flatbed yard that we have. But days like that, I can't do a video because I am so tired that I just need to go to bed. Because, like, once I parked up, I'd laid down here and I couldn't even keep my eyes open, which didn't really bother me. It really doesn't. But you know, is what it is, right? I'll try to keep the videos coming. My next load that I'm picking up is going to be my home time load, so I'm going to be heading back down to Texas, so just kind of keep that in mind. I don't upload videos when I'm on home time. I don't make videos. That my home time is strictly my home time. That's where I push away everything, push away my work, push away YouTube. You know, that's where I spend time with my family and friends, and that's what that time's for. You know, I don't bring my work home as much as possible, which over the last couple of months it's been impossible not to bring my work home. But just know that my next video will probably come out Tuesday, Wednesday. I may do a video tomorrow night or Saturday, and release it, you know, either Friday or Saturday. Unsure of it yet, but if anything, I'll do a shorter video, something maybe about trip planning, like one of the suggestions was. So, but yeah, I'm not going to say I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I know it was more of a depressed video, a more down video, but it's an honest Chris video, and that's what I was looking for. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope to see you on the next one, and if y'all have any suggestions, drop them in the comments or drop them in my email. Guys, thanks for watching.